Some moments in your life are just noise. They come and go, leaving no trace. But other moments are signals, reverberating through your very being, not because of what happens externally, but because of a profound shift in the current of reality itself. A date like July 18, 2025, isn't just another square on your calendar. It is a line in the sand, a demarcation point that will distinguish those who are merely existing from those who are truly living, those who are led by fear from those who are guided by truth. When the universe signals, on July 18, the foundation shifts. It is not a headline for your amusement. It isn't meant to provoke panic or superficial thrill. It is a sacred memo, delivered only to those who have done the inner work to be able to read it. The world screams for your attention. Every single day, you are flooded with agendas: what to buy, who to envy, what to fight, who to cancel. This external chaos is designed to keep you distracted from the only truth that can set you free, the one that resides within you. So many are looking for a miracle. They expect a booming voice from the heavens, a sign so loud it cannot be ignored. But the divine often operates in the stillness between your breaths. It communicates when the clamor of the world finally fades. This silent memo before the restructuring is not a threat, it's a gift. But only those who have trained their spirit, their focus, and their soul to recognize the frequency of truth will understand the opportunity being presented. A divine memo isn't read with the eyes, it's decoded by your state of being. To receive it, you must first clear your inner space of distraction, resentment, ego, and attachment. The reason the vast majority will miss the significance of July 18 is that they are too busy trying to manifest what they want, instead of becoming a vessel for what is destined. You see, when your mind is filled with its own agenda, there is no room for divine guidance. When your heart is fixated on expectations, you are blind to the miracles that arrive in unexpected forms. This is why the great masters, the spiritual athletes, and the true visionaries all train in the discipline of inner quiet. They understand that only in a state of receptive clarity can cosmic truth be poured in. There is a cultivation that happens in the quiet moments. Just as a master gardener prepares the soil long before planting the seed, your soul must be cultivated in private for the public moment of truth. Many believe that transformation is an event, like a lightning strike. But genuine change, the kind that rewrites your destiny, starts far beneath the surface. It starts when you begin to honor the quiet nudges of your intuition, when your daily rituals start to change, when your thoughts become more intentional, when you choose inner peace over outer drama, integrity over convenience, awareness over escape. These are not insignificant choices. They are evidence that your inner world is beginning to resonate with a higher calling. And what is this calling? It is the clear, calm voice of your own higher self, the voice that says focus, purify, strengthen. It doesn't shout, because shouting is for those trying to force a result. A clear signal is for those who are ready to receive. When a deep sea diver prepares for a descent, they are not seeking an audience. They are silently conditioning their body for a pressure that few can withstand. The same is true for your spiritual journey. You are being conditioned for a vibrational shift. And this shift will not be broadcast on the news. It will not ask for your opinion. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will simply manifest. And when it does, it will not reward the loudest or the wealthiest. It will elevate the aligned. Think of a master craftsman who has spent decades honing his skill in his workshop, unseen. The day he unveils his masterpiece, people call it genius. But they don't see the thousands of hours of silent, focused devotion. The same is true for the soul. When July 18 arrives, the world will be divided. Some will appear to move through the chaos with an unshakable calm and purpose, while others will be swept away by waves of panic, anger, and victimhood. The difference is brutally simple. Those who had already decoded the memo were already living in alignment. They didn't need a global crisis to tell them to get their house in order. Their inner house was already built on rock. The world demands evidence before it will trust. But the path of mastery is not about waiting. it's about embodying. If you are always looking for a sign, you will miss the fact that you are meant to be the sign. The divine doesn't send you a message so you can analyze it. It sends a message so you can embody it, act on it, and purify yourself of all that is not in harmony with your true self. False stories, toxic connections, hollow ambitions. The memo before the restructuring is an act of grace. It is the chance to get your affairs in order before the audit becomes public. You don't need the world to shake to start believing. You only need to feel the persistent call in your soul and have the courage to answer it. This is why discipline is sacred, not because it's difficult, but because it clears the channel, allowing you to perceive what the distracted mind cannot. Some truths can only be received by a focused heart. And so, you must train yourself not in how much you can accumulate, but in how much you can let go. You must ask yourself, when crisis hits, do I default to blame or to breath? When confusion spreads, do I follow the herd or do I stand still and connect to my core? When temptation arises, do I choose fleeting pleasure or lasting peace? Those who have read the memo understand that a sovereign life is not about reacting. It is about creating from a place of intention. But you cannot create with wisdom if you haven't first cultivated that wisdom in silence. Many people are living in a state of constant reaction. Their triggers are their masters. Their anxieties are their guides. Their addictions are their gods. And when the real pressure comes, they will shatter. They will cry out, "Why is this happening to me?" But the truth is, the memo was sent, they just marked it as spam. Discipline is the cultivation of inner power. It is not about self-flagellation. It is about self-respect. The reason a pilot runs through their checklist before every flight is not because they expect a crash, but because readiness is the foundation of freedom. If you wait until the storm hits to learn how to build a shelter, you have already lost. Your training is now in the quality of your attention, in the integrity of your words, in the choices you make when no one is watching. These are not small things. They are the very substance of your spiritual reality. And when the great winds blow, only the structures built with integrity will remain standing. The memo before the restructuring is also a test of authenticity. Many believe they are prepared because they have consumed information, but knowledge without integration is just another form of ego. You may be able to quote spiritual texts, but do you embody their teachings? You may talk about high vibrations, but is your daily conduct a reflection of them? The memo is not for the intellect, it is for the soul, and the soul can only hold the energy that it has been conditioned to carry. You must surrender the addiction to being liked, the need to be validated, the endless chase for external approval. All of these create static, and static blocks the signal. When July 18 arrives, what has been built in private will be revealed in public. But those who have trained in alignment will not be surprised. They will not be thrown off balance. They will simply take a deep breath and continue their work. Why? Because their stability is not dependent on external conditions, but on their internal connection. Their power does not come from knowing the future, but from mastering their present. Their peace does not come from a lack of challenges, but from the presence of a powerful inner core. And this is what the memo has always been about, your core. The divine is not calling you to be a spectator, it is calling you to be a creator. But creation at this level requires that you shed everything that is holding you back. Many are praying for a new reality while desperately clutching the old one. They demand growth but are unwilling to sacrifice comfort. You cannot ascend while you are anchored to your own limitations. The memo is an invitation to release the anchor, release the blame, the excuses, the resentments, the identity of the victim. Only then will you be light enough to rise. So, listen not with your ears, but with your entire being. See not with your eyes, but with your intuition. Move not by the world's frantic pace, but by your own internal compass. If you feel that pull within, that inner knowing that the rules of the game are changing, that a great unveiling is near, do not dismiss it. Do not sedate it. Act on it. Now, return to your center. return to your practice, return to your truth. The memo before the restructuring is not a document you read. It is a reality you become. And those who become it will not be shaken by the change. They will be the ones directing it, because they are already powered by a force far greater than the chaos of the world. The force of the aligned soul. True readiness does not begin when the danger is visible to all. It begins when the soul recognizes the shift in energy and what the unprepared mind calls a crisis. The trained spirit recognizes as a catalyst. There is a fundamental difference between being tossed by life and partnering with life. When a person is tossed, they are always a step behind reality, always scrambling for safety, always bewildered when their world changes. But when a person partners with life, they are never truly surprised. They may not know the exact what or when, but they have already felt the why through their intuition, their inner senses, their non-negotiable commitment to truth. That feeling you have, that subtle but persistent sense that the ground beneath your feet is changing. That is not just your imagination. That is your higher self giving you a heads up. That is your spirit telling you, the rehearsal is over. It's time to be real. What unfolds on July 18, 2025 is not a random event, it is a culmination. A great energetic audit where all accounts will be settled. The world may see it as an overnight shock, but the wise know this reckoning has been in the works for a long, long time. The laws of cause and effect are absolute. Every choice, every shortcut, every act of integrity, every moment of avoidance has been recorded. The universe has never been asleep. You may not have seen the scales, but they have always been balancing. And on sacred days, the scales tip, not because the universe is punitive, but because harmony must be restored. What you embody, you experience. What you practice, you become. What you prepare for, you command. Preparation is not a task, it is a state of being. The ones who are spiritually sovereign on July 18 will not be those who have a sudden epiphany that morning. It will be those who have been walking the lonely, often invisible path of self-mastery, those who have been choosing discipline when comfort was easy, those who chose compassion when the world was bitter, those who held on to their inner light when the darkness seemed to be winning. These are the souls who have been preparing not out of fear of an event, but out of reverence for their own potential. They knew that when the energetic tides turn, you must already be anchored. You cannot be learning to swim in the middle of a tsunami. You must already be a master of the water. And how do you prepare? Not by hoarding things, but by purifying your energy. Not by building bigger walls, but by cultivating a stronger core. Many are in a race together. They chase money, fame, relationships, and validation. But what is the real value of these currencies? When the planet's frequency elevates, what will you do with your trophies if your own spirit is too dense to rise with it? You cannot cheat spiritual physics. When the energy rises, only those with a resonant spirit will ascend. You must release the baggage of old wounds, of petty grievances, of identities that no longer serve you. This is the work. This is the real preparation, because when the energetic curtain is pulled back, and it will be, everything hidden will be illuminated. You cannot fake alignment. You cannot fake peace. You cannot fake inner strength. On that day, your energetic signature will be your only resume. The world will react. It is programmed to. It reacts to fear. It reacts to headlines. It reacts to chaos. But the aligned spirit does not react. The aligned spirit responds. The spirit understands that divine timing is not governed by a clock, but by resonance. When the memo was sent that everything changes, it wasn't about your personal schedule. It was about your soul's evolutionary timeline. There are chapters in your life that you do not write. They are written for you. And this coming chapter is not about wishing. It is about being. It is not for the mind that hopes. It is for the soul that has done the work. You must ask yourself, am I still negotiating with my own evolution? Am I still looking for loopholes in spiritual law? Am I still arguing with the truth? Because the time for debate is over. The time for embodiment is now. Preparation is unique to each person. For one, it will mean finally choosing silence over the noise of social media. For another, it will mean confronting a truth they have been running from for years. For some, it is the act of setting a boundary that protects their energy. For others, it is the act of forgiving something that felt unforgivable. These are not minor adjustments, they are seismic shifts within. These are the actions that build an inner world so solid that it does not crumble when the outer world shakes. And it will shake, not to punish you, not to defeat you, but to reveal you. Because all that is hidden must come to light. And when that happens, you will see two kinds of people: those who are shattered by the truth, and those who have been forged by it. When a diamond is formed, it does not complain about the pressure. It understands that the pressure is what creates its brilliance. It does not resist the process. It surrenders to the transformation because it knows its destiny is to shine. In the same way, your preparation has been happening in the dark. Perhaps you couldn't articulate why you started to change. Maybe you lost your taste for meaningless drama. Maybe you started craving solitude and purpose over popularity. This is not a withdrawal, this is an alignment. This is the deepest part of you responding to the coming shift. It's as if your soul has been getting ready for a journey that your rational mind is only now beginning to grasp. That is perfect. Let the soul pilot the ship. Let the mind be the humble navigator. Many will try to cram for the test. They will binge on spiritual content, rush to meditation, and desperately try to feel centered. But you cannot cram alignment. You cannot fast track integrity. You cannot hack discipline. These are qualities forged in the fire of daily choices. And if you have already begun this process, even if you feel imperfect and far from your goal, know this: you are already ahead of the curve. Do not stop. Keep choosing. Keep building. Because the energy of the new paradigm cannot be held by a consciousness that clings to the old one. The shift is not interested in the mask you wear. It is only interested in the truth you are. And that truth is either sovereign or it is a slave. The preparation is the act of its liberation. Every true artist cleans their brushes before they paint, not out of obligation, but out of respect for their craft. The spiritual artist does not wait for a crisis to get serious. They are always preparing, not because they anticipate war, but because true peace is a product of inner strength. On July 18, the balance of power and peace will be tested on a global scale. Those who have no inner peace will be consumed by the external chaos. Those who have no inner power will be frozen by the velocity of the change. And so you must train now. Train your mind to find stillness in the storm. Train your heart to respond with courage. Train your body to be a vessel of clean energy. Train your spirit to trust its own guidance. Let go of the illusion that you can do it later. Later is not guaranteed, but the present moment is a gateway, and in this moment, you can choose your reality. Your destiny is not waiting for your permission. It is waiting for your participation. You do not need to be flawless. You only need to be sincere. And from that sincerity, you must act on the habits that build your energy. Act on the boundaries that protect your focus. Act on the rituals that deepen your connection. These are the pillars of the fortress you will inhabit when everything else is shaken. And what about those who ignore the call? What of those who laugh at the memo? Who insist it's all nonsense, just another Tuesday? These are the ones who have chosen to be surprised. Not because they were not informed, but because they chose ignorance over awareness. Denial is not a shield against reality. It only makes you more vulnerable to it. And when reality arrives, it does not ask if you agree with it. It simply is. If you have trained, you will see it as an opportunity. If you have not, you will see it as an attack. This is not a judgment from the universe. It is the consequence of your own choices. So prepare not with anxiety, but with reverence. Prepare not because the world is ending, but because a new one is being born. Prepare not for the world's drama, but for your soul's coronation. There is a grace that comes when you are ready. There is a power that is unlocked when you are aligned. There is a peace that is unshakable when you have surrendered. And this peace is not found in the noise. It is forged in your practice, in your integrity, in your choices, in your silence. Do not look to the external world to give you a sense of security. Security is not out there. It is an inside job. It is in how you navigate uncertainty. It is in how you treat yourself when you make a mistake. It is in the choice to be disciplined when it would be easier to be distracted. Every choice you make today is a deposit into your account for tomorrow's test. Every moment which you choose to align your energy prepares you to command it. Every time you say no to what is false, you say yes to what is true. There are two ways to face July 18D, with shock or with stillness. The first leads to being a victim of change. The second leads to being an agent of it. And that agency does not come from predicting the future. It comes from mastering your present. The energy of that moment is already on its way. The wave is building. You may not see it on the news, but your soul knows. Honor that knowing. Do not numb it. Do not reason it away. Let it guide you to your training. Let it call you more deeply into your purpose. Let it serve as your ultimate reminder. The work you do in silence is never, ever wasted. It is compounding. It is integrating. It is preparing you. And when the world starts to spin, you will be the calm center of the storm, because you were not waiting for the world to validate your path. You were already walking it. You were not reacting. You were creating. You were not looking for safety. You were embodying it. There is a profound error in modern thinking about how real power is generated. Many assume that wanting something deeply, visualizing it, affirming it, that this somehow puts the universe in your debt. But cosmic law does not respond to your intentions. It responds to your resonance. Energy does not follow your wish list. It follows your frequency. When the universe signaled that everything shifts on July 18, 2025, it was not a memo for those who are merely hoping for a better life. It was a call to action for those who have aligned their entire being, their thoughts, their words, their daily actions, with truth. The fatal mistake is to confuse clarity of want with readiness of being. But the universe, the divine intelligence, the Tao, it does not listen to the words you speak, but to the vibration you emit. You can declare your desire for peace while your inner world is a battlefield. You can ask for wealth while your energy is rooted in lack. You can demand transformation while refusing to be disciplined. This is the fundamental disconnect. This is why the divine signal is only ever received by those whose daily habits, private thoughts, and silent choices are all tuned to the same coherent frequency. That frequency is not found by thinking about it. It is forged through moment-to-moment alignment. Alignment is not a performance. It is not about looking spiritual. It is not about the perfectly curated post or the sacred objects you own. True alignment is invisible to the casual observer, but is glaringly obvious to the universe. You cannot lie to energy. You cannot fake your frequency. You either resonate with the vibration of integrity or you don't. And when that energetic gateway opens on July 18, 2025, it will not care what you plan to do or who you wanted to become. It will only amplify, with breathtaking precision, who you currently are. That is the ultimate spiritual loss. Energy doesn't reward intention. It magnifies alignment. Your energy field is the only passport you will need. The integrity of your inner life will be the only currency that matters. This is why the real work is not about talking more about the light. It's about becoming it. If you say you desire peace but consistently choose drama, you are out of tune. If you say you are ready for more responsibility but live in avoidance, you are out of tune. If you call yourself a healer but engage in gossip and judgment, you are out of tune. These are not minor character flaws, they are energetic fractures. And when a tidal wave of divine energy washes over the planet, it searches for coherence. It flows through those who are whole. It elevates those who are honest, not perfect, but brutally honest with themselves. The world applauds the charismatic, the aggressive, the well-marketed. But the universe promotes the sincere, the aligned, the quietly consistent. There is a sacred formula at play. Your thoughts, plus your words, plus your actions, create your reality. If your thoughts say, I am powerful, but your words are full of complaints and your actions are born of fear, your reality is one of internal conflict. If your thoughts say, I am ready, but your words are full of excuses and your actions are full of procrastination, your reality is one of dissonance. And no matter how many times you state your goals, no matter how eloquently you describe your vision, if your being is fragmented, your frequency will be out of harmony with the coming shift. And when your frequency does not match the new current, you get left behind. The planet isn't just undergoing a political or social change, it is undergoing a vibrational ascension. The shifts on the horizon are not designed to benefit the cleverest, they will benefit the most coherent. This is why so many people who appear to have it all together on the outside will find themselves cracking under the pressure, while those who have been quietly doing the deep inner work will rise with an effortless grace. There is a velocity to spiritual energy that only a still soul can handle. There is a clarity so potent that only a humble spirit can receive it. And on July 18th, when this clarity intensifies, your degree of alignment will not be a choice you make, it will be a fact that is revealed. For many, this will feel like a harsh exposure. They will feel naked. Because when the frequency of truth rises, everything built on a lie is forced to collapse. This is the great test. And it is not graded on a curve, it is graded on purity. It will not ask how many workshops you attended. It will ask, did you integrate the lessons? It will not ask how many people followed you. It will ask, how many times did you follow your own soul, even when it was inconvenient? It will not ask how impressive your rituals were. It will ask, how aligned was your heart? Alignment is silent, but its impact is world-changing. There are 3 pillars that create unshakable alignment: radical honesty, unwavering discipline, and active surrender. Radical honesty means you live your truth, especially when it costs you social points. You speak what is real, not what is popular. You honor your commitments, especially the ones you make to yourself. Unwavering discipline means you do the work, regardless of your mood. You master your impulses instead of being a slave to them. You intentionally cultivate your focus, your energy, and your emotional state every single day. And active surrender means you release your white-knuckled grip on control, not from a place of defeat, but from a place of profound trust. You stop trying to force your will on the universe. You align with the greater flow and move with it, even when your logical mind protests. Most people try to muscle their way through life. They try to hustle their way to a higher state of being. But force creates resistance, flow creates power. You must become the clear channel through which divine energy can move without obstruction. You must remove the inner dams: your ego, your fear, your resentments, your comparisons, your impatience. These things choke your life force. And when the frequency of the world shifts, a choked channel will shatter. But when you are in alignment, you are like a perfect conduit, free of personal agenda, pure in your transmission, and ready to be used by a power far greater than your own. There is a divine schedule unfolding, and just as a flower blooms in its designated season, so too does the soul. But you cannot force your blooming, you can only tend to your roots. Your roots are your daily discipline. Your roots are your moments of silence. Your roots are the choices you make when no one is watching. What you do in the unseen world determines your capacity in the seen world. And on July 18, the light will not just illuminate the world, it will either shine through you or it will expose you. There will be no in between. Energy does not negotiate with partial truths. It either flows through a clear channel or it is blocked by distortion. That is why this moment, right now, is your only point of power. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more prepared. Now, because the law is absolute, you will rise to the level of your alignment, not the level of your ambition. You will receive in proportion to your preparation, not your proclamations. And you will be tested not on what you know, but on who you have become. You must ask yourself, have I become the kind of vessel that can hold this next level of light, truth, and power? Or am I still hoping the world will change so I don't have to? You are not waiting on the universe is waiting on you. The divine current is always available. The real question is, can you handle it? Are you a worthy container? Or are you still leaking your power through unconscious habits, a scattered mind, and emotional reactivity? Your capacity to hold energy is the definition of your spiritual power. And spiritual power is not about age. It is about awareness, accountability, and the courage to choose growth over ego again and again, especially when it is hard. Most of all when it is hard. On July 18, the divine frequency will amplify. Some will rise because their inner structure is sound. Others will crumble because their foundation was made of sand. You must build your inner sanctuary now, not with words, but with actions, not with theories, but with breath. You must polish the lens of your perception. You must fortify the walls of your focus. You must open the gates of your heart to allow a greater power to flow through. Because sacred energy, real, raw, and transformative, does not enter a space of chaos, it enters a space of order. Not the order of rigid control, but the order of beautiful alignment. This alignment demands a brutal and loving honesty. You must look at your own life and ask, where am I still out of harmony with my own soul? Where am I still performing? Where am I still choosing comfort over my calling? The answers may sting, but they are the keys to your freedom. You cannot change what you will not acknowledge. You cannot align with a truth you refuse to see. But when you do, when you see yourself with clarity and love yourself enough to do the work, the universe rearranges itself around you. Not as a reward, but because you have finally tuned yourself to its eternal rhythm. And this is the final truth. Alignment is not a destination you arrive at. It is a state you return to, moment by moment. Each breath is an opportunity to return. Each choice is a chance to retune. Each challenge is a test of your commitment. And like a finely tuned instrument, you don't tune it once and assume it will hold forever. You must tend to it daily, with care, with focus, with love. Because the music you create, the life you live, is entirely dependent on your alignment. When the sacred day arrives, the world will not transform you, it will reveal you. The flood of energy will not create your reality, it will magnify it. And so the most vital work you can ever do is not to hope, not to wish, not to fear, but to align. Not in theory, but in practice. Not for an audience, but for your own soul. Not to look good, but to be true. Not out of fear of what's coming, but out of reverence for what you are becoming. Because in the end, it will not be your opinions that carry you through the storm. It will be your presence. It will be your silence. It will be your alignment.